Yes, good evening, viewers. Welcome to yet another edition of the SGN Week in Depth, and I am your host, Salif Sonko. And then I will join in the studios by the famous Hour. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Salif. Good evening, viewers, and welcome back to another episode of the SGN Weekend Up. As usual, I'll be taking you through a review of the stories that we've published over the week, inshallah.
Yes, as usual. There is a lot that happened over the week, and then from the world of football to the Gambian politics to entertainment, a lot of other stories. So today is gonna be so exciting talking about all of these things. So to start with, our
Definitely.
can you take us through your first story of the current affairs?
Yes, so the first story was about seven mini parks being built on the way to being built in within KMC. So under the leadership of the Lord Mayor Talib Bensouda, the Kanifing Municipal Council, in collaboration with its partners, will be building seven mini parks within the Kanifing municipality. So this initiative is actually through the Kanifing Environmental Transformation Program with support from the European Union, and then seven standard football pitches which are worth $24 million will be built in Abuko, Talinding, Buffer Zone, Kotu, Kanifing Estate. You
Mhm.
have Bundunjola Kunda, Bakote, as well as Bakau. So the contracts have already been signed. In fact, according to the Lord Mayor, and among which we have Bakau and Talinding Buffer Zone are already on their way. In fact, they are already being built as we speak right now. So according to the mayor, all the major facilities, according to him, will be ready in 6 months.
Wow, that's quite a development there for the mayor, considering the fact that he is going to face an election, and then these developments are coming. But yet, people will argue to say it's politics. But again, I think Talib
I
has proven
think,
that it's not politics sometimes.
yeah, I think Sarif has done really well
Yeah,
in that council.
yeah, definitely. So we move to the next study. So I would just ask you about this because we have seen that the National Assembly have tabled a bill. Have tabled the budget has been tabled already before National Assembly, and a lot of people are disappointed with the National Assembly members giving themselves, I mean, a hefty budget, basically increment of allowances. You have people like Sabali throwing their opinion on that. Can you take us through that entire saga? I know there's a lot of opinion pieces when it comes to that study.
Yeah, so a lot of people have been speaking about the National Assembly recent bill that sees an increment in their salaries and other benefits. So a lot of people have said that it is an attempt to enrich themselves using the taxpayers' money, and then you have Savali also talking about it, saying it is some sort of budgetary buaya, and I don't know how to say this thing in English, because in as much as I'm a Mandinka, I have this poor Mandinka diction. So you might
Anyway,
help me with the translation.
it's equally budgetary witchcraft or something like that.
Yes, so exactly, he described it as that, and then yeah, a lot of Gambians have been really talking about it, because in fact I think we also have some parliamentarians who are also against it, saying that an a direct attempt to enrich themselves as parliamentarians is not exactly what brought them to the parliament. So
Exactly,
yeah,
because I see a video of Tumanja trending on that. But we'll get to that as well. So again, our the next one of the um, of the current affairs. So so you have the President Barrow NPP is here to stay, and then urges oppositions to humiliate his party. So tell us about that story, because Barrow said NPP is here to stay, no matter what happened.
yeah. So the president was embarking on his meet the people tour, and during that he also took the opportunity to lay the foundation stone of his National People's Party in URR. So after the activity, he spoke to reporters, saying that his party, NPP, is actually here to stay, which is why they are building this kind of structure in URR. Also, he added that they will be doing the same in all other regions, which is a sign that the party is actually here to stay. So he also challenged other political parties to emulate what he's doing. And yeah, in such endeavors. But also we've seen that the source of funding for this structure, that um, whose foundation stone he laid while he was in his soul, was not
Hmm.
so we've seen a lot of opposition parties challenging him to actually disclose the source of funding for his NPP. So, in fact, some critics have accused some businessmen of sponsoring the president's party in return for shady government contracts, which are mostly single source. So the president is saying that NPP is here to stay.
Well, interesting. Well, NPP is here to stay, but anyways, let's see how what the future holds. And so, our something very very interesting happened too during the week. We've seen the central bank being hacked. We've seen people basically coming out to say the governor of the central bank have to resign, or the chief technology officer or something like that would have to resign, because the banker's bank, if that is hacked, is basically outrageous for an economy like Gambia. So tell us about that current affairs news.
Yeah, so the National Treasury has actually allegedly overpaid some civil servants with a stunting amount that amounts to up to 1 million for the month of November. So this
Yeah.
development actually came barely a week after the Alcamba Times reported the hacking of the central bank by unscrupulous cyber warriors. So the central bank has actually called for calm and argued that the problem has been solved. But with the current situation, the Treasury Bank, overpaying some civil servants. Many are actually attributing the unimaginable payments to the hacking incident that actually took the government some days to reveal to the nation.
Well, I
Also,
think
just to add on to that, some civil servants have actually complained that they've not been able to withdraw their money. They need the money, but they cannot withdraw it because of the situation. If you go and withdraw, it could be seen that you want to actually use the money. You are being overpaid, and you want to use all that money, to for yourself. So it's going to be seen as something else if they try to withdraw that money. So they are there, they need the money, but they still cannot withdraw it.
interesting, interesting. I could imagine what those families would be going through, because you have to receive your salary and then the money is due, but you cannot take it because your central bank is being hacked. And then I think what would make it worse, because if there is not enough information available to the public, then we're going to speculate, and then they are unwilling to speak to the media about this. It's basically not an issue, and then well, when it's a very very big problem. So we
Definitely.
move.
We have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
central bank actually took days to come and to actually talk about this. And then you can imagine if Alcamba Times has not actually reported this, it would have been something that the Gambian people will not be aware of for like
yeah,
days or so. And then
yeah.
that is really something else, because lack of communication is very detrimental. People can speculate. People will think whatever they want if you don't tell them exactly what is going on. So I
Yeah.
think government institutions should work on communicating to the Gambian people.
Yeah, so we move to the other story. You have the UDP leader, the actually Senegalese parliamentarians claimed, and we have seen videos making round in TikTok everywhere, that a Senegalese parliamentarian in the Senegalese parliament, saying that it's very very easy for Senegalese to obtain our national document, which is kind of embarrassing to the Gambia. So we have the United Democratic Party leader to come out to say that this goes to show that the elections were actually being rigged by the president, that his win was not really clear. Tell us about that study and then the controversy surrounding it.
Yeah, we have the leader of the opposition UDP, Honorable Hussein Dabo, reacting to the recent controversial remarks of the Senegalese parliamentarian who claimed that the majority of the people in his community in Casamas actually have the Gambian ID cards because it is very easy to get, especially in the election periods. So these remarks were actually made by Honorable Omar Jaiteh while speaking at the Senegalese National Assembly in Dakar. So Honorable Dabo actually argued that the Senegalese member of parliament's remarks revealed the unjust conspiracy of the president and the IEC during the last elections. So he said it shows that it shows the circumstances surrounding the last election, President Barrow winning, and actually accusing them of rigging the elections.
Yeah, but again, what is so baffling about this is like with the Senegalese, that man even is not even a opposition member of Senegal. If at all it's from this opposition, you could say that's an opposition statement, but that is actually a sitting MP of the President Macky Sall's party, and President Macky Sall have a relationship with Barrow that is very very close. So it's
That was
just
also
it's actually maybe they're not he was not calculating that this is going to be used here in the Gambia. But actually, it's the reality also in the ground. Our
that
national
was one
documents are
thing.
really are easily accessible. If you travel around the world, you will see even Nigerians having Gambian passports, which you cannot even understand. It's kind of crazy.
That was actually one thing Honorable Dabo pointed out. He said that the MP that actually said this is not really an opposition MP. So he's part of the member of parliament from the ruling party in
Yeah,
Senegal. So if he said if it were said by somebody who is the opposition, we could say it is politically motivated or something like that. But the fact that it was said by an incumbent an MP from the incumbent party. So it actually holds water.
yeah. If you're just joining our stream, do remember this is SGN Week in depth. We try to review the stories for the week, and then we are going to have a very exciting interview with the CEO of Active TV Gambia, to tell us about his journey in content creation and how far he has gone. So if you're actually new to this channel, you can try to like, follow, and also share the stream. Send in your comments, and we will be planning it while we continue on the discussion. So, our moving on. It has been a very fruitful week actually in the Gambia. So we move to the next story, where you have how to call it okay, so you have President Barrow's 6 year of presidency on the scope. People actually trying to put President Barrow's 6 year rule on the scope to see what he has done so far. Take us through that as well.
Yeah, so tomorrow, December 5th, will actually mark the 1 year of President Barrow's second term of presidency,
Yeah,
um, after a 53% landslide victory last year. So during the 2021 presidential election campaign, President Barrow has actually vowed to bring unprecedented development to the country, arguing that his second term is going to be very different from his first time in office. So, however, according to observers, there has not been any notable development since the president took power for his second term. So, in fact, with the current double digit inflammatory pressure as well as the worsening economic conditions the Gambia is faced with, it has definitely been a rough year for the president second
yeah,
term.
definitely. It has been a rough year, and we are just 1 year, so we have 4 more years to go.
We have four more
Elections,
years to go, meaning he
four
has
more years to
actually
go.
4 years to turn the tables around.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So anyway, so we have another interesting story where you have the AKI victims. I think we've talked about this AKI over like 3 episodes of our weekend that we've talked about AKI over and over, and you have the AKI victims rejects charity money from the government, saying that it's bribery. So tell us about that story.
Yeah, so this parent of an AKI victim, Mr. Mohammed Dembele, said that he has reported that he has rejected the government's money given to the victims, describing it as charity money. So Mr. Dembele made these remarks during an interview with a public radio, where he
Mhm.
said that his rejection was actually based on the fact that he felt the government has not been doing much for the victims since the death of their children. So he expressed dissatisfaction with the way and manner the government is actually dealing with this AKI situation,
Yeah,
and adding that the victims want to be actually assured that these kind of medications will not be imported into the country ever again. So he in fact he stressed that those that are involved with that are involved with the importing, the distribution, the selling, those that are involved in whatever way
yeah,
on these AKI infection should actually
yeah,
be prosecuted.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So Okay, the next story we have a missing driver found dead at Bruceby. I think this has caused a lot of controversy in the internet, where you have the youths of Bakau storming a police station and stoning, the officers. And it has been very, 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 very tough for them down there. So tell us about that story of the man found dead in Bruceby, at Bruceby. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I did not get what you said.
Yeah. I said you can the Borisube incident where a man named Omar Sonko was found dead, and then the youths of Baka were so angry about the situation they stormed the police station. Can you tell us about that report as well?
Hello?
Hello, yeah. Can you hear me? Hello,
Yes?
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yeah. So should we move to football? We have
No,
exhausted
no,
the
you were
conversation.
talking about the missing driver that was found in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
yeah. The missing driver. Yeah. Tell us about the missing driver. Then we move to the World Cup special.
Yes, so Omar Sonko is actually a native of Bakau. He went missing last Friday and he could not be traced. So the police has then arrested a suspect in connection with the case who denied any wrongdoing. But in the early hours of Thursday morning, a man walked into the Bushibi Bushibi police station and informed the authorities about the dead body found in his uncle's incomplete house. So the source said that the office, together with medical personnel, went to the scene where the body was recovered and taken to the mortuary in Banjul for further examination. But
Yeah. Your mic is off. Yeah. Good. Hello. Can you hear us?
yes, I'm
Yes.
actually speaking.
Yeah, your mic was off. Your mic was off. You were saying that the dead body was found, and then the man reported the issue at the Bruce police station.
Yeah, so Sonko, who is believed to be in his 30s, mysteriously went missing last Friday. So the
Mhm.
family have since been has since reported the matter to the police. So after the confirmation of his death, a group of angry youth have actually created disturbance at the Bakau police station where the suspect was initially detained. Nonetheless, a source said that the suspect has been moved to an unknown location.
Interesting. So, still on the current affairs, let's get this last story, and then we move to football, then entertainment. We have backlash over MC Cham's controversial visit to the State House. This visit has actually been a lot of headlines over the week, and then people say MC Cham as well want to switch sides to Adama Barrow, because basically Adama Barrow is succeeding to he has succeeded in basically silencing one of the strongest critics. That's Dr. Ismail as he says. So a lot of people believe that maybe MC Cham too is on the line. So tell us about everything basically from the beginning. I know you have been following the story. You've been covering the story from the beginning. So tell us about the MC Cham issue.
So MC Cham is a very, very strong critic of the Barrow administration, and he is also, in fact, the national youth president of the opposition Gambia Democratic Congress. He has been very widely criticized after his visit to the State House, which he told the media was to actually discuss national issues with President Adam Barrow. But
Yeah.
in a dramatic twist, in a very dramatic twist, we've seen also the same MC Cham telling Kirfadu last week um, that the president actually urged him to join his party and work with him. So you can see the controversy there. You say
Yeah.
you say you want to talk about national issues, and now you're telling us that he actually urged you to 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 join his party and work with him. In fact, he also said that this is good for his career and that he will do it over and over again if the president gives him the same avenue again.
So does this mean actually basically most of this opposition, especially these young politicians coming up, and again according to the story, I think we have a story also about Esa Njai seeing that the politician build of the likes of Hussein Dabo, the likes of Halifa Saleh are on like basically unmatched with this young generation politicians because they are very inconsistent and then they will say this today and then they will basically change just because they want to see the president. So does this mean most of the times they are strong against Adama Barrow just to see him? Because if the boss if basically the boss stops there, that okay, if you're criticizing the president, you see him and you stop criticizing him, then what is basically the notion? What is basically the motive behind criticizing the president? If not, is to see him or getting closer to him. Take
Um,
us through the SNJ
I,
comment. Yeah.
yes, so Sanjay was actually saying that now the then politicians are very, very different from politicians of today, simply because
Yeah.
before politicians had integrity and they were truthful and honest to the people. But he said politicians now are very they lack integrity. They're not honest to the people, and they're not really truthful. So he made that comparison between young politicians and politicians then, taking an example from MC Cham, who recently visited the president in the pretext of discussing national issues, but then came and told people that he actually asked him to
But I
to
think even
do
criticizing
his
the
part.
president is a national issue. You're doing your part. You're basically telling him what you're doing is wrong. Do something else. So I don't know what other advice would be there that MC Cham is not doing on the media that he has to go up the state house to give to the president. That I cannot understand.
Exactly.
Anyways,
In fact, that was one thing Jai also pointed out. He said if he really wanted to discuss national issues, he had a platform to do that. He has the
exactly.
media. He has, he can write, he can talk to just
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
those things. He does not have to go to the state house
Hopefully,
to
hopefully next week we are gonna have
actually.
MC Cham here, and then we can discuss. He would tell us himself like what is it that he discussed with the president that he couldn't do through the media, or basically the same platforms that he has been using. And I think the president has been following him. And okay, so
Inshallah.
we have another story. That's the GDC basically released a press statement, basically condemning Senegalese claim that they own the Farafenni Bridge, something like that. And then also they're saying that our sovereignty is our problem. So tell us about our study. Okay, now let me give a rundown of the study. I think due to the due to this thing, time constraint, let me do it quickly. I think the Gambia Democratic Congress (GDC), the party leader has issued a statement because the Senegalese MP that claimed the same MP that claimed that the Senegalese easily get our national document. This is the same MP who also thanked the President Macky Sall for giving them the Farafenni Bridge. And also Farafenni Bridge is basically a Gambian owned bridge. So basically them taking ownership of that, especially in the National Assembly. So, it's a call for concern. And then GDC leader there is concerned about Gambia's sovereignty. That Senegal is interfering a lot in most of our domestic affairs. So from then we wrap it up from on that. Then we move straight to, because the Senegalese match is about to start. We move straight to football World Cup special. Our World Cup special. Take us through how was the World Cup basically. How are you really feeling it as well?
Super interesting. In fact, it was. I think I'm not really sure if this is the first time I've actually shown that this much interest to the World Cup, or I'm not sure if it's that fact. But this World Cup has been really interesting. I am actually really really enjoying it, and then the fact that it has been really shocking. You have Saudi Arabia beating Argentina. You have like it
So
has
now
been
let's let,
giving me a
let's
lot of
take this.
surprises.
I know you're
Really.
supporting Saudi Arabia for certainly, but let's take it bit by bit. You guys left the World Cup. You beat Argentina and leave the World Cup. That's the most interesting part of the whole thing. So let's take
Anyway,
it group by group. So Group A, we have two teams that make it from Group A, and then we are moving straight to round of 16. I think some games have already been played. So Group A, Group B, like you can just tell us a summary like that, and then we move.
yes, so in Group A, we've seen Netherlands beat the hosts Qatar, while Senegal beat Ecuador, which saw the two teams to the round of 16. Also, we Netherlands have, in fact, yesterday Netherlands have actually also trashed USA from Group B, second place 3-1 to proceed to the quarterfinal, where they will also take on Argentina on Friday. So Netherlands and Senegal were the ones that proceeded to the round of 16 from Group A, and in fact we were just
Mhm.
talking about the fact that Senegalese match is will soon be restarting. Senegal will go against the Group B winners, which is England today at 1700 hours in the knockouts.
Mhm.
Also, it should be noted that if they win England to proceed today, they will make their second quarterfinal appearances in the World Cup. The first being in 2002.
Yeah.
Yes, the first being in 2002, which was the first time that they ever qualified for for the tournament. So
Yeah,
in that rounds it off for Group A and B. We have Group C as well. We have Argentina and Poland proceeding to the round of 16 with 6 and 4 points respectively. We have Argentina also beat Australia to proceed to the quarterfinals, and as I mentioned earlier, they will be going against Netherlands in that particular stage. So
yeah,
interestingly, we've also seen. Yeah, interestingly, we've also seen Lionel Messi score his very first World Cup knockout goal in on his um, thousandth appearance since beginning his career. So I think that was a very interesting one there for Messi, scoring his very first
yeah,
knockout goal in the World Cup. Also, we move on to Group D, where France and Australia were the two that proceeded, both with 6 points.
yeah.
Tunisia became the first African nation to leave the tournament this year. Also, we have Australia. Australia, however, got knocked out by Argentina yesterday, and France also knocked Poland out today after
Yeah.
beating them 3-1 to
Mhm.
proceed to the quarterfinals. Also, we
Interesting.
moved to
Interesting.
interesting.
I
Exactly.
think before the World Cup, we were here. We were talking about how the Senegalese national team was saying that they were gonna go extra miles to get Sadio Mane cured, and which they failed to do. And then
I
they go
think
into
I
the
think
World Cup, and then
I think
um,
I think now it is safe to say that no money, no problem.
no money, no problems. Yeah. So basically, we've seen how basically I think they've put up a very good fight. To be honest, despite I'm not a fan of the Senegalese national team, but I think they put up a very good fight. Coming from where they are to go second, beat Qatar, beat Ecuador. That was a remarkable performance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
We've
that was
seen
a
them
remarkable
lost.
performance.
We've
So
seen them
basically,
lose
in
their first.
Africa, I think all African countries did very well. I'm kind of disappointed a bit with Ghana's performances. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting something more than that because they've already beaten. They won the game before the last one. So I was expecting at least a draw or something so that they could qualify to the next stage. So it was going to be the first World Cup where all African nations are making it to the round of 16 and being hosted
Exactly.
in Qatar, for the first time, a World Cup being hosted in a country like Qatar. So definitely a lot of history has been made
It would
from the
have been
opening of
great.
the World Cup and where you have verses of the Quran being read for the first time. That was remarkable.
Exactly.
Uh,
We see Qatar actually using the World Cup to propagate Islam, and
yeah,
that was
and what is so
awesome.
interesting is mainstream media like the West basically trying to make sure the rights of the LGBTQ is respected. You see, football national teams that are basically trying to say that they should respect those rights, blah blah blah. It's really interesting. And what are your basically? Let's just wrap this up. What are your predictions? What do you think is gonna happen? Do you think any country from Africa will stand a chance of at least going very far? And which country do you think would
Um,
likely go
in
far?
in my own opinion, I think Morocco have been doing really well. We've seen them beat Belgium, and then the fact that they were able to beat Belgium, a team as such as Belgium, I think they will really go far. They are taking on Spain for the knockout, and I am really confident they can actually beat Spain.
Huh. Anyways, this is going to be like Morocco and Spain had a history, so it's not gonna be an easy game. It's going to be very. It's just like if Gambia is playing against Senegal, like how it feels like playing with your neighbor. It's always not easy game. It's always very difficult. But
Definitely.
anyways, with the way the Moroccans are playing, I think they stand a chance. But what about Senegal? Do you think Senegal is going to win? Because the match will start very soon. Do you think Senegal is going to beat England?
Senegal versus England today is definitely not going to be an easy match for Senegal, because England is a strong team. England has a very strong team. Even though I would
I
not
know
dispute
England
the
they
fact that
founded football.
Senegal has been fighting, Senegal have been doing well. You said
England they found as a football. I think if I'm not mistaken. So if they founded football today, it's going home. Like it's going home. Meaning football is going back home. That's where football is from.
like looking at their group stage matches, England has been doing very well. So I think I'm not saying
And
that
one
Senegal
thing you
is
have
not
to know
good
is
enough, but
I
it's
think
definitely going to be a hard one.
England has a very young team as well. They have a very young team. Most of their players are less than 25. You understand? That's how young the team is, and very
Look at
dynamic.
that.
You have basically the likes of Saka there. You have Rashford. You basically one thing I've also observed in the World Cup is all countries have African playing there. All countries,
Hmm.
almost all the countries have Africans playing there. Because even in Senegalese national team, we have a Gambian playing in the Senegalese national team. Who
Exactly.
naturalized to be a Gambian. So it's quite interesting, very diverse. Do let us know if
Very
you think
interesting.
Senegal is going to win in this match in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
do
if
let
you're
us know.
also tell us which one you're going to support. Are you team Senegal or team England?
Yeah,
Salifu, Salifu, what team are you?
well, I don't support Senegal. I'm still England.
So you're supporting the colonial masters.
No, I'm supporting England.
So
I'm
this is
supporting
going to
England.
be a clash of lions. So we have the lions of Teranga and you have the three lions. So
Exactly.
let's see which
You know,
lions
three
will
lions
proceed.
actually bigger than one. So if three is to fight against one, definitely
No,
three is
but
going to win.
Senegal, but Salim, looking at the way this World Cup is going, you cannot term anyone as underdogs because we've seen Saudi Arabia
It's
beat
such a big
Argentina.
Senegal to be
We've
underdogs.
seen a lot of
Senegal is
shocking
African
shocking results.
champion.
So I don't think you can say that three lions are, even though literally three lions are more than one. But well,
Well, there's
Senegal
nothing
can
to say
actually
here. One
come
thing
up
I
with
can tell you
miracles.
is that three lions are better than one. That one is actually done. So three lions are better than one. I'm not going to dwell far into this debate, but I know that
Well,
Senegal is going home today. That I know personally. I
we'll
pray, I
find
pray
out
that
at
they
the end
go
of the
home today.
match.
Yeah. Anyway, so the match is in few minutes time. I think Omar Jaiteh will join us in the program, and then but before Omar Jaiteh join us, I'll just take you through quickly about the entertainment news. We have seen the Gambian's famous rapper, and a legend in the Gambian music industry, T Smalls. T Smalls Suso have made um, a very very controversial video, and he said the Wasalat Award is actually discriminatory. He mentioned the history of Wasala Award and then how the host of Wasala Award or the CEO and the founder has worked so hard for the Gambian music and to go to this far and try to basically being biased in the selections or based on whatever reasons. That is kind of unfair, and then he didn't expect that. He was in the Gambia and he did his show in the Gambia. He was at least expecting that he was going to be nominated for a lot of categories, but to his surprise, he was nominated as foreign-based artist when he did his show in the Gambia. And to be honest, he did his trip, because staying away and then just coming to Gambia within 6 months and do a program in Independence Stadium, it's really not easy. So that's what Six Malls is complaining about. Yeah, you can find more on our website. Um, so another entertainment news is Hussein Dara launched his album yesterday. I think you've all seen that. But one thing I can tell is this beef is getting real. If you think this beef is going anywhere, I don't think you've observed it, because seeing what happened yesterday on the stage of Hussein Dara, inviting everybody that this attack on stage and then ST coming on stage. Well, this is just getting started, and then attack also is about to have a concert at Q City. So let's see what is going to happen. It's going to be very, very interesting. That I can tell. So that's all for the entertainment section. Now we welcome Omar on the stage. We have a commercial break. We have a commercial break, and then we will be back with our guest, Omar Jaiteh. So do stay tuned. Yes. Thank you very much, viewers. Like I told you, Yes, Omar, can you hear me?
I'm not getting you. Mandari Moega. Salif.
Yes, can you hear me now? Ikamu ya? Hello, yes. Ikamu say. Hello.
I think even mute le. You are mute.
No, no, I'm not mute. Let me. Can you hear me now?
What about me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear our?
Mr. Jaiteh, can you hear me?
I think he's the one having a problem. Can you hear me? Oh,
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
yes. So, wait, let me tell him to.
I'm not getting.
Okay. So like I said, we'll be joined by Omar Jaiteh, the CEO of Active TV, to to give us a rundown of his career in content creation, and some of we will also take him through some of the current affairs because
Bro,
I think he.
Mandari Moega.
Okay.
Malo mo no.
Can you please leave the stream and come back?
Okay, no problem. All right.
That would help.
Yeah, all right.
Alright.
Go ahead.
So I think he's the one having a problem there. So he will solve that and then join us later in this stream.
Yeah, and sorry, before while he does that, I think JT has a very, very remarkable story from
Yeah,
from
I like
um
what
going
really
through the
surprises me
bad
our
way
is
to actually becoming such a content creator.
yeah, I think we made a report about this. You can read about it on our website as well. So this guy started all the way from making his own videos by himself to becoming one of the most influential content creators in the Gambia. Like he's very influential. You will never know until there's something in the Gambia. So if you go to his channel, he's always up to date and all that. So I hope now he's hearing us. Hello.
Yes, hello, bro.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you so much, Mr. Jera, and welcome to the SGN Weekend.
Thank you very much. I am very, very happy to be with you today. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, bro. Thank you.
Thank you. So what we're gonna do is like you take us through your career in content creation. Before you just joined, we were talking about how you started your journey in content creation, like from what we've read on your story, going through the back
Yes.
way, and then basically living in Europe, not only stopping at working, but also creating content and basically employing Gambians as well. So this is something that is remarkable. So you just tell us briefly about that.
Yes, it's a very long story, but to make it short, as many people know, I am Omar Jaiteh, but people call me Active TV. I am very, very happy, as I said, to be here on your platform. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And thank you very, very much for being the first media platform to publish the YouTube award that I received recently. Thank you very much. Yes,
Thank
I
you.
am Omar Tede, originally from Nyani Sukuta in Sierra.
Yep.
It's a very little village in Gambia, just
Yep.
near the village of the former Gambian president Salada Karabajara.
Yeah.
Yes, I stayed in Brikama, at a very early age. From Nyani Sukuta to Brikama, I spent all my childhood time in Brikama. Then from Brikama to Fajikunda, from Fajikunda, I traveled outside from the Gambia to the back way, the famous back way. Yes,
Interesting.
and I think this should not be a problem calling people's backway boys. Many people don't like it, to be honest. And we share stories of people who are doing good in taking the name of our country, we have to know their background, we have to know their story, we have to know how they reach to Europe. So yes, I came to Europe through the back way in 2014 from Gambia, Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and then to Libya. Yes,
Interesting.
this is the short story, the journey from Gambia to Italy. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. So, if you have a question, you can ask.
Yes, Mr. Jete. So after you took us through your background, we've seen recently that you won a silver plate with the YouTube content creator studio. Tell us
Yes,
how did you
I
get
have it with me. For those who do
exactly?
not know how it looks like, yes.
For those that don't know how the silver plate looks like, here is the silver plate that he won as a content creator. Mr.
Yeah.
Jete, tell us how did you do it?
Congratulations.
How did you become an award-winning content creator? What was your motivation?
The motivation was I'll first thank my brother who is an artist, who who is he's still doing good because he's
Yeah.
still in the music industry. He's doing very well. He's a Gambian artist born in France, Paris, but both the two parents are from the Gambia. He's doing music. He's going to Gambia every year. He visits the Gambia every year, but the platforms, were not promoting his music.
Yeah.
So somebody who was born in Europe, who want to know our culture, who want to know like his country, and he's taking his music from France to Paris, from France to Gambia. I think these are people we should help. Not only those who are doing music, but those who are doing very well in other parts. Taking the name of the Gambia. These are people we should uplift, we should help. So
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
people who are not helping him, I was like, wow. So I reached to many platforms, the platforms who are doing very well those days, all the platforms. But,
Mm.
no one was promoting his music. I was like, okay. Then when I reached to Europe, I was like, I'm inside, I'm in the camp in
Yeah.
Italy. I was
Yeah.
doing everything possible. Like I was doing the Facebook page. I was, using the WhatsApp status to promote his music. But by
Yeah.
then, I was not having this idea to create the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So when I reached to France here, I was like, okay, I have time. I'm with the family. I'm not having pressure. So I think I can create my own platform to promote his music. The platform was created purposely to promote this brother. But
Listen. So
as you all know, in media, you cannot depend on one thing or only one person.
yeah.
So, like, I was like, okay, I will still promote the brother, but let me also create, other programs like the news review, like the sport update.
Yeah.
So this was
Yeah.
how the platform was created. Is purposely for the brother who is still doing music. Yes.
Who is the name? What is the name of your brother?
Kibis, Kibis, is a Gambian artist. I don't know if you know
Kibis.
the song Nga Gambia Yai. He was the one
Okay.
who recorded this song.
I don't
Amazing
know this song,
song.
but I would check it out because of your detail.
Nga
So
Gambia, Gambia Yai.
nakam na
Yes,
ko
Kibis.
nakam na ko
Yes.
yela content creation commencé le. Ila take ila brother le fasa. So fasa ro ni nada ke bulu fete bi yalo ko tabi de famo bulu. At first it was just to promote somebody. Then eventually he
Yes.
promoted the whole Gambia.
Yes, purposely. What na entertainment o muga tuno je like because it all root found him on platform when you create. Wala dina ni artist jamala ga do nyola like I always have problem with the artists. Like they will tell you promote my show, you will promote the show at the end of the day, like you will not hear from them again. So but yet still muganya kasinuela because like platform when you create like purposely for entertainment to be honest. But
Yeah.
after Bira cool made another kuja mala dunda kono.
So tell us, because I know people will be curious. What those near YouTube content creation and the film play niyo kan igani. Ano yung kananyo? Anong kurulo kananyo la bang for karo kay kuro ko ejo wala or something like that. Because that
Yes,
jawab sige tala.
somebody just asked me this question, 2 minutes ago.
Yes,
The
yes,
person was
definitely.
like, before I join you, yes, the person was like, how much did you send you with the silver award? Yes, so
yeah,
this is just
yeah,
the award they sent to you. Like when you open the package, for those of you who do not like see the video when I was opening it, the video is on Active TV. Like nothing is inside the package. Only the silver plate, and the letter they send to you to show their appreciation what you are doing on YouTube to encourage you. Yes, but money when you reach a certain level or certain 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 level on YouTube, you can monetize your YouTube channel to start earning money on YouTube. That is, you have to have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. Or 1,000 subscribers should be following your channel, and also 4,000 hours watch time. This is the main problem here to monetize your YouTube channel. Not the subscribers. To have the subscribers is very easy, but the thing is to have the 4,000 hours watch time. To monetize your channel, this is the problem. The 4,000 hours watch time.
Interesting, interesting.
So,
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Yeah.
so Mr. Jaiteh, as it stands, do you have that 4,000 watching time?
Yes, like when I start this YouTube journey, not I think in 4 or 5 months I reached to this level, the 4,000 hours watch time. Because to be honest, there are other people who are doing the same thing, like the same thing I am doing right now. And those people, to be honest, they were a motivation to me. They motivated me a lot and they inspired me a lot. Gambians are doing very, very well, not only me. So,
Yeah.
like, I was like, yes, there are other people doing the same thing. But what should I do? When I first came, like, when I first created this platform, Active TV, I was like, people who are doing entertainment news. People are doing, news review. What should I do? The same thing, yes, but what should I change, or what should I add to make the platform more unique?
What should
I
you
was
do
like,
differently?
okay, yes, I was like, okay, those who are doing, those I know are doing strictly in the local language. So what I do is I said to myself, okay, what I will do is I will talk in the local language, but I will also add the English language because I cannot speak all of unfortunately. The English
Mhm.
language, just to explain to people who cannot understand Mandinka what exactly I am saying in my video. At first, it was very, 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 very hard for me because those who know my story, I'm a dropout. Like I did not complete my school, and English language was very, very hard for me. There are words in English to understand. I have to Google it to know exactly what this word mean before like saying it, because you cannot say something that you did not know the meaning. I was
Mm.
like, okay, yeah, so this is what I will do. It was hard, to be honest, but I think it was very, very good for the platform
It's not
because
impossible.
those who cannot understand Mandinka also,
Mhm.
yes, also benefited to understand exactly what I am saying in my videos. But to say this here, creating use YouTube channel, this YouTube channel have really changed my life, because when it comes to the English language, there are some words, as I said, like I did not understand the words that in the English dictionary, words that you cannot say without the meaning exactly, because I don't want to say things on my platform that I myself saying it do not know the meaning. So this YouTube
Yeah.
channel, to be honest, helped me a lot, and also also to develop my English language, and that's a great feeling and a very, very positive thing.
And Mr. Danzo, Mr. Jaiteh, sorry, I
Yeah.
was actually
So that is
coming
that
to
is that is
that.
active TV's. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. Let
I
me
was
just
going
say
to
this.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that's this YouTube channel. You can see the way he creates videos. If you don't subscribe to it yet, you can just go straight Active TV Gambia, and then you would subscribe. So that's this YouTube channel. Go ahead.
Yes, so Mr. Jade, I was even going to come to that as to how you were able to improve on your English language for the benefit of those that are out there that also want to do like you're doing but don't
Yes.
have English background. So how did you manage to improve on your English language?
Yes, very simple, very simple. Like as I said, there's nothing that in Google you cannot find. Like, I mean, you can find every word that is in the English dictionary. You can find it when you Google it. So
Yeah.
at first, what I was doing, to record a video, Like I have to write everything down. I have to write everything down. I still have the papers. Unfortunately, I'm not at home right now. I'm at somewhere. If not, I will show you all the papers. Like I mean, before it was very
Yeah.
very hard. I have to write from when I wake up and say this is what I will be talking about today. I have to write everything on a paper, then practice everything like in the morning, then the in the evening I will start recording the video. But even the recording before, I have to record like 2 3 4 times to have it correct. Only
Wow.
one word like in English
But
language,
now you
a word that I will be repeating
Yeah.
3 4 times to know exactly to have the correct pronunciation of this word. So it was very very hard, to be honest.
I can relate. I can relate.
You
I
Yes,
understand. I
yes, it
understand.
was very hard, to be honest. But as I said, Google helped me a lot, to Google
So
words to
basically, you say
understand
you use
exactly
your
what
time.
they mean. Yeah,
It basically
yeah,
you use your time and energy instead of being on Facebook. You use YouTube as an office for you, basically. So come YouTube says it's not like you go there to watch,
yeah,
but more than to look at you, and also you generate money for yourself. So tell us about the income part. How have you
right.
been doing? Can we ask that? How is the support like back home on businesses, advertisements, Wasifan? How is that part also?
Yes, yeah, this is very, very important. The question is very, very important, to be honest. Before monetizing the YouTube channel, this was
Right.
the early days of active TV. Solfresa Global Properties. This man, to be honest, is a real Gambian, and like Gambians should celebrate this man because he is there to support the young talent.
Yeah.
Solfresa, I met him in France, in Paris, but
Right.
just like that, because he was with someone I know. We greeted each other. I think just we just spent only nothing more than 10 minutes together. When I created the YouTube channel, I sent him a message on
Yeah.
Instagram. He was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, I do not remember," but I asked him his WhatsApp number. He sent me his WhatsApp number. I called him. I explained more in details how we met in France. He was like, "Yeah, okay, I remember." I explained
Yeah.
everything. I explained to him that I just created a platform, but I need sponsor. I need sponsor. I need business to give me their business. The business owners to give me their business to advertise their business on the platform to also generate something. He was
Yeah.
like, "Okay, no problem. I'm in UK, but in some days time I'll be going back to the Gambia. Then you can call me." I said, "Okay, no problem." He was in Gambia. He went back to the Gambia. He was in Gambia when I called him. He was like, "Okay, no problem. Then let's make a deal." We make a deal. He's paying me every month from 2019 up to date. I'm working with Global Properties. Solfresa is helping the platform. Since
Mhm.
nothing more than 2,000 people subscribe to the YouTube channel. So thank you very
Wow.
much, Solfresa. This is
Yeah.
a real Gambian who is ready to help young talents. Yes,
Definitely.
and from Global Properties, many other businesses came.
Yeah.
You have Sister Kahabatu Sauda, who is with me right now, still now, and you also have Remit Continental. You also
Yeah.
have French Touch. This is a man sending containers from France to Gambia. Juara, who is also sending containers to the Gambia. Yes, yes. Many people came, to help the platform, which is very, 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 very good, and I'm very, very grateful. Yes, and for the
Fantastic. So,
YouTube, YouTube,
yeah.
YouTube part, that
Mhm.
that that you don't know how much you will get at the end of the month. That depends
Okay.
on how people watch your video. But yes,
Okay.
YouTube is also sending me the revenue. Yes.
Alhamdulillah. So that's really good. So finally, before we close this, think we should have an hour here. Almost Senegal la majo kana ko masle. So which team are you supporting today?
bro, bro. Like, I mean, I also created another platform. I don't know if you know that Hakilo TV.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw your video on Hakilo TV.
Hakilo TV, like where I make video for people to reason very very well to know exactly where the truth is,
Yeah,
to
I saw your videos as
differentiate
well.
the truth
I
yes,
watched it.
yes.
Yeah, I watched it.
But anytime I say this on this platform, there are people who support, yes, but many people don't agree with me. Like when I say that we should support Senegal,
Yeah,
Gambia is not at the World Cup.
yeah.
Gambians should support Senegal. There are people who are sending me negative comments. If you don't be careful, people will unsubscribe to
But
your
like
channel.
I
Yes,
understand your point that Gambia is support Senegal, but like you are supporting Senegal, that doesn't mean that I have to support Senegal. It's like
yes,
it's a choice. Everybody can support wherever you want to
Exactly.
support.
right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not forcing anybody to support, but I'm giving reasons. You cannot say something without a reason.
Yeah.
Gambia, when it comes to Gambia, like we are more close to Senegal than any other country.
Yes, that's true.
Gambia shared everything, like everything with Senegal. We shared, like the food we are even eating in Senegal, the names, the surnames, the cultures and traditions. Gambia shared everything with Senegal. So this is my belief that we should support Senegal, and
Okay.
I'm supporting
Okay.
Senegal 100%. And
Okay, no
and
problem.
and yes, yes, I'm
No
supporting
problem.
Senegal,
Yeah.
and also my wife,
Yeah.
from her mother's side,
Yeah.
she's Senegalese, yes, and from
Okay,
the dark side, she is a Gambian,
sige,
and this is
sige,
another reason why I am supporting Senegal.
Ibi tayo
I
lagyan
think
ko.
I think
It's
Mr.
normal.
Jeta here has another reason for
Yeah,
for
exactly.
supporting
Because
Senegal.
it's football. It's football, definitely. We all have
Yeah,
fans. Personally, I am not supporting Senegal, and I wish they lose today, so they can go home.
yeah, you are not supporting Senegal.
I'm
I
supporting
think
England.
I think I'll
Okay,
just support football
and
today. I'll just support.
where are you supporting? Which
I'm
country?
I'm supporting football today. I'm not supporting any of them.
Wow, but okay,
You're
that's
supporting
not a
football.
complete reason,
Listen,
but
listen.
I
Oh, you're
still
supporting one country.
I'm
accept
going to
it.
support football. I'm not supporting England or Senegal. I'll support football.
You
Okay,
support
my
good
football.
football. Like, I mean,
Exactly.
anybody who support good football should support Lionel Messi.
anyways, Omar, before
Yes,
we take leave of you, a lot is happening in the Gambia, and I know you like entertainment. So
yes.
I posted a story last week about T Smalls. He posted a video that was an awarding. It's kind of discriminatory with the work he has done. He visited Gambia, he organized shows, and eventually, like, Amafanya nomination Jamal Kona. You understand? So, in your
Mm.
personal opinion, do you agree with T Smalls on that claim that he has done a show in the Gambia less than 6 months? In the 6 months, I saw back at Gambia Independence Stadium. Everybody saw it, and that was a huge success because an artist coming from abroad to do a show in the Gambia. So what do
Yeah.
you think of the Wasal Award? A lot of people are saying Wasal Award might likely not be that famous again. The fact that ST withdrew from the award, and yesterday if you watch Dada's concert, he was saying he threw the award in the dustbin. So it is telling you likely Dada also might not participate in the next Wasal Award. So what is your opinion of
Mm.
that?
Yes. When it comes to like what's a halal, I will say my opinion here. Like because when I am on active TV, like I just analyze things and leave for the others to comment. But here,
Yeah.
I will yes, I will share my opinion here. What's a halal? I think ST, like pulling up from the Wasalat Music Award, like this is a very, very negative thing for the Wasalat because ST
Definitely.
is a big artist in the Gambia, a very, very powerful artist. Like, bro, if ST is not part of the Wasalat Music Award, this means that Wasalat Music Award is dying. Yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
and for the T small side, T small to be honest, T small I think he should even win the foreign-based Gambian artists, not only musically, but T small is also doing activism the same time. T small is talking about things that are happening in the Gambia. These are people we should award. These are people we should celebrate because
Yeah.
people who are doing very well in taking our country. like peoples who are defending the country of the peoples of its country. These are peoples we should support, and these are peoples we should award 100%. And for Hussein Dada, like this is an artist I admire a lot. Like I have maximum respect for Hussein Dada, because when I visited the Gambia last year, bro, there was this concert in the Gambia. What is the name of the concert again? Uh, Best of the Best concert.
Yeah,
The
best of
Best
the
of the
best. Yeah.
Best concert. I was in Gambia. I contact Hussein Dara. Like I mean, this is like a movie. I want to go out. My brothers were sleeping. The brothers I was with, in the Gambia, we visited the Gambia together. They were sleeping, and rumors that peoples are killing, peoples are dying in the Gambia. Like this robbery thing. I was
Yeah.
like, no, I cannot go out alone.
Yeah.
I know people don't know me,
Yeah.
but I mean, I cannot go out alone. It
Your
was
face is
around
everywhere.
1
Yeah.
a.m. It
Yeah.
was around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Because this was very funny. Like this story is very, very funny story. Like
Yeah.
we have two cars. We have two
Yeah.
cars in the house, but
Yeah.
I cannot drive.
Yeah.
I cannot drive, and the brothers were sleeping because we were from provinces this day, yeah, and they were
Yeah.
all tired. They were sleeping.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is something else. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I said to myself, let me contact Dara, because he once told me that he was living at this end. That
Yeah.
was in Paradise Estate.
Yeah.
Bro, I took my phone, I called Hussein Dara. I was like, bro, it's me, Active TV, Omar. I am in Gambia. He was like, oh, okay, Omar, you are in Gambia. Yeah, I want to go to the best of the best concert,
Yeah.
but I don't have a car here. And I don't want to go out alone. Usendera was like, bro, stay where you are, send me your address, and I will come for you.
Wow.
I
That's
was
lovely.
like, wow. Yeah,
Wow.
I sent him my address. In 30 minutes, he came with the car. We went to the concert together. I entered with him. I did not even pay for the ticket. He entered with
Yeah.
me. Yeah, at the gate, he said to the brother who was at the gate, he said to him, this is Active TV, so I'm entering with him. So we entered together. Only this, like, bro,
Yeah.
showing your fellow human being humanity, this is a very, very great thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel very,
Definitely.
very proud. Like I see the other side of Hussein Dada this night. So I was like, this brother have my maximum respect. So from
Yeah.
this day,
Yeah.
I promote everything Hussein Dada is doing in the Gambia.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
He deserves
like
it. Yeah.
Dada also coming out to talk about the Wasalat Music Award. And what he says, I'm still doing my findings to investigate if this is the reality. He says, Wasalat Music Award. They said they are not able to count the votes because one person can vote more than 1,000 times. So this is the reason why they were not able to count all the votes.
But
So my
Omar,
question
why
is,
would they ask people to vote? They are paying their money to vote for themselves.
if
Let
they
them vote
cannot
for free
if they
selected.
cannot count, yes. And my question is, how did Attack win the artist of the year if the Wasahalat organizers cannot count the votes? So how?
Exactly.
This is $1 million question, and I will try all my best to have the Wasahalat Music Award organizers to explain this to the Gambians. Yes.
Definitely. I think basically yesterday watching Dada's concert, I can tell you the beef has just started. This is not going anywhere. The beef has just started and it's going like it's basically some would say it's healthy. It's good for both of them, their careers, there's competition. But again, I think it's unhealthy. Personally, I don't think it's actually the right time for the Gambian entertainment side to be having such a class, like
Yes.
major image like ST in question and a major star like Attack and Hussein Dada and all of this people involved. I don't think we are ready to basically take the risk of
No, so
having a
we
concert
have
like
a different opinion on that. Me
really.
personally,
Yeah.
I think this is very, very healthy for the industry.
Okay.
But the problem is also it might be positive negative for other people when they see the mentality of many Gambians, not every Gambian, but many Gambians. Like what we have in our mind is that like this might turn into a war, a physical war.
Exactly, that's my point too.
What? No, bro, this is not turn. It's not turning into anything. I'm telling you, these
Yeah,
artists are there to promote their music.
yeah,
You will. This is what I always say on my platform. Like you don't have to be a fan to insult other artists, or to insult the fans of other artists. You don't have.
yeah,
You don't have to do that because I know these artists are doing this to promote their music.
yeah,
Bro, this is not turning into anything. Just watch out. They are just doing this. You will see these artists throwing words like harsh words to each
yeah.
other, but you will see them in the club dining and whining together. So, like, let's reason. They are just
Anyways,
promoting. They are just promoting their music. It's not
yeah,
turning into anything.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree with that part that they are promoting their music. But my fear actually is gonna be that's gonna be
Yes.
another subject. Likely, when we have a panel on this entertainment thing, I would
I'll be
invite you
joining
over.
you. I'll be joining you. You are my people. I'll be joining you time to time.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
inshallah. So thank you so much. That's all we have for you in this week's edition. So Awa, you can have your final words. Then Omar will have his final words. Then we can close this.
Awa is my sister. My favorite
Yeah,
sister's name is Awa. So Awa is my sister. I'm
definitely,
very
Thank
happy
you
to be
very
with
much.
her.
Thank you,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mr. Jaiteh. And the only final words that I have to say is that looking at how Mr. Jaiteh has started and how much he has achieved, it goes to show that Gambians are very talented and that all they need is sometimes is actually support and an opportunity to showcase their talents.
Yeah,
So, and then the moment they get that support, they can go places. So I'm actually just calling on stakeholders, all the people. If you know you can support someone, give him or her the maximum support that he or needs, and then at the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. Actually,
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Nothing to lose. So Omar, you can just give us your final words before we take leave of you.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very, very happy, bro. Thank you very much, Mr. Sonko. Thank you very much. Awa, my
Yeah,
sister, I'm very, very happy to join you today. And I'll be joining time to time. I'll be joining. You are my people. So,
yeah, no
and
problem.
Gambians watching right now, I will tell you all to subscribe to SGN. They are doing very, very well in bringing updates, daily updates from the Gambia and other parts of the world. Thank you very much, bro. Thank you, Awa.
Thank you so much. So,
thank
viewers,
you.
that's all we have for you in this edition of the SGN Week in Depth. I was your host, Salif Sonko, and the co-host was Awa, and then our guest today was the CEO of Active TV Gambia, Mr. Omar Jaiteh. So that's all we have for you. Do join us next week with more interesting content. Thank you so much.